You know that feeling? That quiet frustration, maybe? Where things are just okay. Like, life's kind of on autopilot, and you keep saying someday for all the big things you want to do. It's that sense of being, well, good enough, but maybe deep down, you know there's something more.
Mm-hmm. And that place, that familiar space we call the comfort zone, it really is like an invisible barrier. It feels safe, right? Even cozy sometimes. But paradoxically, it can turn into this quiet prison, a place where your real potential kind of just nods off. And the truth is, maybe an uncomfortable one, is that growth.
It almost always needs a bit of discomfort.
A quiet prison. Wow, that really hits home. Makes you think immediately about needing to lean into that discomfort, doesn't it? So, okay, our mission here for this deep dive is pretty clear then. We're going to unpack what this comfort zone thing really is, why it's such a challenge, to break free, and maybe most importantly, we've got a real story and a very actionable strategy for actually stepping out. It's not just about changing what you do, it's more fundamental. It's about changing who you become. Exactly. And we've pulled some really fascinating insights from the material to guide us through this. This isn't just theory, It's really grounded in practical application. And this path, this powerful way towards personal transformation, it isn't about these huge, scary leaps. It's much more about consistent small steps. Think of this as maybe a shortcut to understanding a really profound shift you can make.
You know what's really striking, though? How often we don't even realize we're in it. Not until things just feel kind of neutral. Life's not bad. It's certainly not terrible, but it's not amazing either. It's just, okay. And you tell yourself, yeah, this is fine. But underneath, there's that little feeling, maybe like you're slowly shrinking. Even if you're not actually unhappy, it's so subtle. So from the sources, are there specific cues, like internal feelings or external signs we should watch for to know we've hit that neutral gear?
Yeah, that's the really insidious part about comfort zones. They don't feel like a trap precisely because they're comfortable. But that's exactly the danger. We see it all the time in the scenarios from the sources. Staying in jobs we don't really love, maybe relationships that aren't growing anymore, or just routines that stopped challenging us ages ago. And why? To avoid feeling that initial discomfort of change. And this pattern, well, it effectively keeps us stuck. It prevents us from evolving, from expanding.
Right. And the case studies you mentioned, they really brought this to life. There was Aaron's experience, waking up, same day, over and over. Eat, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. He wasn't miserable exactly, but he wasn't really living either, just autopilot. And that quiet frustration you talked about, that became his internal alarm bell.
Mm-hmm. And then Evan's story during that weight gain phase, he kept putting off getting back in shape. Yeah. And every single time he dodged something difficult, like, going for that run or just saying no to the junk food, his confidence took a hit. What's really revealing there, I think, is how comfort just quietly, day by day, erodes confidence. The longer you stay put, the smaller your belief in yourself seems to get. And your potential, it's just subtle stolen away, almost without you noticing.
That link between comfort, eroding confidence, that's incredibly powerful. And it leads us right into the core strategy we found in the sources. A specific mindset, yes, but also a real plan to get out of that slow trap, as you called it, and build something strong. And this is where, for me, the insight really clicks. Big change doesn't have to be some giant leap. It's about consistent, disciplined steps.
Exactly right. And there's actually a science-backed principle in the research that points to this. Doing something consistently for 21 days. That's when a new habit really starts to form. So the whole transformation structure we're looking at breaks it down. 3 blocks of 21 days, making 63 days in total.
63 days. And the outcome they described, it's profound. It's not just that you start doing something new, it's that you actually become someone new. And what's amazing is how universal this seems to be. It applies to pretty much anything, right? Learning a language like English, starting a business, even just waking up earlier. It's always the same core idea. One step, then another, consistently.
Right. And that raises a really important question. Why 21 days? What's the significance of that number in this framework?
Well, the thinking is, it's just enough time to nudge your brain, to get it to recognize something new, start embedding it. But it's not so long that it feels completely overwhelming, impossible. It's almost like you're gently tricking your mind into building a new normal. It's long enough to actually stretch you, make you uncomfortable, but short enough that you can actually believe, yeah, I can do this.
Okay, so let's dive into that first block then, the initial 21 days. What's the main focus here? Sounds like it's all about building momentum. And the key thing is just showing up. Perfection isn't the goal. Just consistency. Is that right? Absolutely. And the examples from the case studies really show how these small, almost tiny, manageable starts build trust with yourself. Take Aaron with his English fluency goal. He committed to something really simple. Just speak for 5 minutes a day. That's it. No pressure to be perfect. Just do it every single day. And keeping that small promise, that consistency, it made him feel proud. It built that internal trust.
And Evan, with the fitness journey, he didn't jump into like 5 a.m. boot camps and keto, right? He started by just walking for 20 minutes and skipping sugar with his dinner. It felt, as he described it, almost too easy. But that was exactly the point, wasn't it? You're laying a foundation, trusting yourself. And when you keep those little promises day after day, your brain starts to shift and starts thinking, okay, maybe we can actually do this.
Yes, and it's really important to talk about the internal stuff, the challenges that come up during those first 21 days, that first week. It often feels genuinely weird. You might question everything, like, why am I even doing this? Who am I trying to kid here? But crucially, if you push through that early resistance, you usually notice a real shift by week 2. If we zoom out a bit, it's all about getting that internal validation first, before anyone else notices. Evan specifically mentioned around day 15 feeling lighter. Not just physically, but his energy felt different. People on the outside hadn't seen much change yet, but he felt it, and that feeling was enough, because he started believing real change was possible.
Exactly. That internal validation is key. So this first stage, these 21 days, it's actually less about the external results you can see and much more about a fundamental shift happening inside, in your identity. You're proving to yourself, one small step at a time, that you're becoming someone who doesn't quit on themselves. That seems to be the real takeaway, the ultimate outcome of those first 21 days.
Okay, so we've really unpacked the subtle nature of the comfort zone, how it can trap us without us realizing, and we've laid out this actionable foundation, the 63-day transformation strategy, highlighting especially the huge power of those first 21 days just to shift how you see yourself.
And really, that's just setting the stage. The next part of the journey, what happens after this initial phase, this sort of honeymoon period, that's fascinating too. That's when people often start to see on the outside the changes you've been building internally. Right. Yeah. So thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? What tiny promise, maybe something that feels almost too easy, could you start keeping to yourself, starting today? Just to begin proving to yourself first that you are capable of stepping out of your comfort zone, capable of becoming the person you know deep down you're meant to be.
Welcome to the Depth Dive. We're here again to unpack the crucial knowledge from everything you've shared with us, articles, research, notes. And today, we are really plunging into how new habits stick. Not just how they form, but how they become part of you, especially, when you're improving your English.
Yeah, it's such a common goal. And our mission today really is to pull out those insights that make consistency feel, well, natural, not forced.
Exactly. Not just possible, but natural.
And it is a journey. We're looking at these 3 key phases of change based on what you sent in.
Right.
And what's really interesting is what happens after those first 21 days everyone talks about.
Okay.
We'll get into how others start noticing, how your own mind starts almost craving the momentum.
Craving it. I like that.
Yeah. And how you end up building a whole new comfort zone, one you've earned.
Okay, let's unpack that, because your sources really do highlight this critical second phase, don't they? Days 22 to 42.
That's the one, the sweet spot, or maybe the tricky spot.
And then the final stage, true transformation. It's important to remember, you listening, you've definitely done harder things than this already.
Absolutely.
And the life that's waiting, it's not miles away. It's like just one step beyond that comfort zone.
Well put. And yeah, those first 21 days, the initial push.
Yeah.
Foundational. Absolutely critical to get through it.
Totally essential. But, what happens when that initial excitement, that new car smell of motivation starts to fade a bit?
Right. How do you stop it all from just fizzling out?
Exactly. Just when things are starting to feel good. And that's where this phase 2 comes in, right? The validation and the trap, days 22 to 42.
And this is where it gets fascinating, like you said, because this is often when other people start to notice.
Oh, the external validation part.
Precisely. One source mentioned a guy named Evan trying to get consistent with morning runs.
Okay.
Around week 4, a coworker just casually says, "Hey, Evan, you seem more energetic lately, doing something new."
Wow. And that must have felt huge for him.
It was more than just a compliment. It was like proof, like the universe saying, yep, keep going. It solidified things for him.
That makes so much sense, that external nod.
It's a really potent reinforcement, even if it's subtle. And your sources showed something similar for English practice too, right?
Yeah. A classmate just saying, your English is flowing better lately.
And that's not just small talk. That's evidence. It closes a loop in your brain. Okay, the effort is visible. It's working.
Right. And I felt that too, personally. That moment someone comments on your English flow, it just cements the effort, you know?
Exactly. And internally, something shifts too. In this phase, you're not just trying anymore. You're starting to
Becoming.
those routines.
Yeah.
They feel less forced, maybe even a bit natural. And your mind, as we said, starts craving that momentum. It's not just feeling good. Your brain's building these little reward pathways. It starts anticipating the positive feeling.
Okay, neuroscientists call that predictive coding,
Right.
where the brain expects the good result.
That's the idea, yeah. It makes the habit feel rewarding in itself.
Okay, but if it feels so good, what's the trap you mentioned?
Ah, yes. The critical trap. It's the temptation to ease off because you feel good.
Right, because it's working.
Exactly. Your brain kind of whispers, hey, maybe we can relax a bit now. We've done pretty well.
Huh. Sneaky brain.
It's the ultimate paradox. That very feeling of ease is actually a test of commitment.
So the key is realizing this isn't the end goal.
Absolutely crucial. This phase is not the finish line. It's the foundation for what's next.
So for you listening, pushing through this phase, it means you stop chasing change.
You're living it. You transition into actually living it. And that momentum carries you into phase 3.
The transformation that sticks. Everything after day 42.
Yeah. And this is where something really profound kicks in. Those new habits, they don't feel like habits anymore.
They just feel like you.
Exactly. Think about it with English. You might shift from, ooh, I need to study, to just waking up and wanting to do it.
It becomes automatic.
Or just a natural rhythm, a groove. It's not a task on a list anymore. Your brain has literally changed through neuroplasticity. It's made that the easier path.
Wow. So it's not just mental, it's physical changes in the brain.
Definitely. And it's not just internal either. Your whole environment starts to align.
How so?
People might talk to you differently because your confidence has shifted. You might carry yourself differently. You certainly think differently. You've proved something important to yourself.
There was that line from one of the sources. Something like, first, it's hard.
Then it's routine.
Yeah.
Then it's part of who you are. Yes. That sums up this final stage perfectly.
And not flashy.
No, not dramatic or loud, just a peaceful, powerful consistency.
That sounds really good. Peaceful, powerful consistency.
And sometimes it even expands beyond you. Remember Evan from the source?
The runner, yeah.
In this phase, he actually started helping other people. A colleague asked him for fitness tips. A friend wanted to know his secret to consistency.
Oh, that's interesting. So he became the expert.
He realized he'd become the kind of person he used to admire, used to look up to.
That's the real transformation, isn't it? It's not just about the habit itself.
It's about expanding your identity.
Your identity, wow.
Yeah, your brain gets rewired. Every time you repeat that behavior consistently, the neural pathway gets smoother, stronger. The default setting changes.
So your comfort zone, it actually moves. The old you isn't comfortable anymore.
Precisely. The new you is the comfort zone. You didn't just, leave your old comfort zone behind.
You built a new one.
You built a mind that follows through. A mind that doesn't just wait around for motivation. It runs on momentum.
That's a powerful idea. A mind that follows through.
You've basically trained your brain to trust you, to show up, even when it's difficult, even when no one's watching or cheering.
And that trust, that self-trust.
It's everything. It really is. And what's beautiful is somewhere along this path, maybe without even realizing it, you've built this new identity.
A new normal.
A new normal, exactly. And this new life becomes your new comfort zone.
Okay, but this time it feels different.
Completely. Because this time, it's a comfort zone you earned.
Right. Not one you were just hiding in.
Exactly. It's not a place of hiding anymore. It's a place of strength. A zone you actively stepped into, not one you got stuck in.
That feels like the real win.
It is. You're not stuck thinking someday, you're living it right now.
And even when the initial spark, the motivation maybe fades.
Strength stays. The habit stays. The identity stays.
This isn't just abstract stuff. It connects directly to the language we use, the words that shape how we see this growth.
Absolutely. Which is why it's great to really lock in some of that vocabulary.
Agreed. So, to help cement these ideas and boost your command of English around them, let's bring in Crystal. She'll break down some key words and concepts.
Hello, thanks for joining me for this part. We're just going to slow things down a little now and gently look at some of the important words from our discussion. These aren't just vocabulary items. They're really ideas, emotions, reflections of this whole journey. Let's look at some useful vocabulary from today's deep dive. First, Comfort zone. It's a noun. It means that situation where you feel safe, at ease, no difficulty or risk, secure and familiar. For example, stepping out of your comfort zone is where real growth begins. Practice saying it. Comfort zone. Next, potential. Also a noun. This is your ability to develop, achieve, or succeed. That hidden strength inside. Example, every consistent effort unlocks more of your potential. Practice saying potential. Then we have consistent. This is an adjective. It means always behaving or happening in the same way. Steady, regular. Example, being consistent with your English practice is key to fluency. Practice saying consistent. Momentum, a noun. It's the force or speed of movement. But here we mean that feeling of progress, of moving forward. Example, after the first few successes, your English practice will gain momentum. Practice saying momentum. Resistance. That's a noun too. The act of fighting against something. That initial difficulty or reluctance to change. Example, the key is to push through that initial resistance, especially in the first 21 days. Practice saying resistance, identity, noun, who you are, your sense of self, personality, values. Example, consistent action helps you build a new identity. Practice saying identity, transform. This one's a verb. It means to change completely, usually for the better. Example, learning a new language can truly transform your perspective on the world. Practice saying transform. Reclaim, also a verb, to get back something that was lost or taken, to take back what's yours. Example, you can reclaim your time and focus by building better habits. Practice saying reclaim. Nuance, noun, a subtle difference in meaning or expression or sound, very slight variations. Example, understanding the nuances of English usage comes with consistent exposure. Practice saying nuance. And finally, fluency, noun, the ability to speak or write a language easily and accurately. Example, his goal is to achieve fluency in English within a year, driven by consistent practice. Practice saying fluency. Okay, let's shift gears slightly to grammar focus. Conditional sentences. We use these today talking about possibilities in habit building. First, type 1 conditionals. These are for real possibilities, things that can happen now or in the future. The structure is if plus present simple, will plus base verb, like we heard earlier. If you push through this phase, you'll not just be chasing change, you'll be living it. See, if you do this, this will happen. Try one yourself, maybe. If I practice my English consistently, I will feel more confident. Then there's type 2 conditionals. These are for unreal or unlikely things, hypotheticals. Structure. If plus past simple, would plus base verb. We implied this when talking about not growing. If I didn't step out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't be growing. It suggests you were stepping out. Your turn could be, if I had more time, I would dedicate an hour a day to English. It's hypothetical. Now for some phrases to practice. This is shadowing. Listen, pause, then repeat out loud. Try to match the rhythm and tone. Ready? It's about that invisible wall we all build around ourselves. Pause. Your comfort zone is the prison where your potential goes to sleep. That quiet frustration, that's the alarm bell telling you it's time. Pause. Change doesn't need to be a giant leap. It just needs to be consistent. Pause. You're proving to yourself that you're not someone who quits anymore. Pause. Your new habits don't feel like habits anymore. They feel like you. Pause. You trained your brain to trust you, to show up even when it's hard. Pause. It's a comfort zone you earned. It's a place of strength. Pause. Lastly, a couple of common mistakes to keep an eye on. English has its tricky bits. 1. Confusing comfort and comfortable. Remember, comfort is the noun, the feeling or state. Comfortable is the adjective describing how you feel, so you feel comfortable in your comfort zone. Not, I feel comfort zone. Maybe overusing very. It's easy to do. Instead of very good, try excellent, fantastic, amazing. For very important, maybe crucial or vital, it adds more punch. 3. Direct translation of idioms. Idioms often don't make sense word for word. Learn them as whole chunks. Like hit the nail on the head means you said something exactly right. Just so you know, this deep dive is generally aimed at B1, B2 intermediate English learners. The words in grammar are chosen to help you expand how you talk about these real-life topics, like growth and habits. Okay, back to you.
Thank you, Crystal. That breakdown is so helpful for really letting these ideas sink in.
Language matters.
It really does. And thank you for joining us today for this deep dive. We genuinely hope it gave you something solid, something real to hold on to for your own journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care of yourself out there.
And just keep stepping forward, one step at a time.
And remember, your progress doesn't stop here. To keep building on this, keep advancing your English, feel free to click on the next video.
Or check out the other resources we've selected for you.
Yeah, keep that momentum going.
And just remember that core message as you move forward, whether you're on day 1, day 44, or maybe just trying to find that belief in yourself again.
You've already done harder things than this. You have.
You really have. And that life you're working towards, it's not far off. It truly is just one step beyond your comfort zone.